Hey everyone, today we are going to make some chicken chili. Admittedly, this is my first time making this recipe, but I have a feeling it's going to be amazing. On the table are some of the ingredients we're going to be using. We got a lot of prep work though, so let's get right into it. Alright, we're going to start off with about one large white onion, and we're going to give this about a medium dice, nothing too crazy. Once it's all diced, we're going to add that right to a bowl. After our onions all taken care of, next we'll do our peppers. We got a jalapeno, some red pepper, and a yellow pepper. Where's that more of an orange pepper? Anyway, that's for some flavor, some heat, and some color. The pepper is pretty standard procedure. We're gonna cut off the top, turn it, cut off the bottom. Next, we're gonna cut into it and sort of roll our knife along the inside outer layer, I guess you call it. Take that pit full of seeds and toss it. And you can cut them to make them a little bit more easy to work with. Then we're gonna turn these peppers, cut them into strips, then turn those strips, cut them down to a nice medium dice. Scoop your diced peppers into your bowl with your diced onions, and we're gonna repeat those same steps for our red pepper and our jalapeno. Alright, you know how we do? We gotta have that celery too. So we got 2 sticks, we're gonna cut them in half. Same thing, cut them into strips, dice them, then add them to the bowl with the rest of your vegetables. Okay, our chicken, I got some skinless, boneless chicken breast. Although in this situation, chicken thighs would probably be better and a little bit more flavorful, but chicken breast will work just the same. We're gonna cut them into some nice sized pieces, hit them with a little bit of olive oil, a little bit of seasoning, and then we're gonna go and brown these. Now keep in mind, after these are fully cooked, we're gonna cut them into bite-sized pieces and then add them back to the chili. But right now, we just wanna get some nice color on them, get them nice and brown, get some nice browning going on in the pot. Dutch oven pot, medium heat, olive oil. Then we're gonna add our chicken. After all our chicken is down, I'm gonna hit mine with a little bit more seasoning. I got some Goya adobo. After about 2 to 3 minutes per side, we're gonna give this a flip. Once it's nice and brown, 2 to 3 minutes on the other side, then we're gonna remove our chicken. Okay, and once you remove all your chicken, you see this nice browning going on in the bottom of the pot. That's exactly what you want. All that is pure flavor, that is flavor concentrated. I'm gonna add just a little bit more olive oil, then all of our vegetables that we prepped before, right into it. A little bit more seasoning. We're gonna be seasoning every step as we go. We're gonna grab a spoon, start mixing this around, and we're gonna scrape up all of that beautiful fond on the bottom, get it nice incorporated with our onions, let them saute in it a little bit. And if you need a little bit of help, you can add some water, a little bit of white wine, or some of the chicken broth that we're going to be using later. I'm just going to use a little bit of water for now to help you scrape up that beautiful fond on the bottom. Once all your vegetables start to look like this, you know you're golden. You're ready to move on to the next step. We're going to add about 6 ounces of tomato paste. I'm going to cook that, extract even more flavor from it. After a few minutes of letting that tomato paste cook, we're going to add 4 cups of our chicken broth. Give that a nice stir. Then I'm going to add 16 ounces of white beans, drained and rinsed. Stir again. And by now, our chicken breasts are slightly cooled. So what we're going to do is just take them and cut them into nice bite-sized pieces. And snack on a few if you want. It's not going to hurt. We're gonna add our chicken back to our simmering pot, juices and all. Okay, now I've also been going a little bit crazy lately with these pepperoncinis, putting them in everything I cook. So I'm gonna add about 3 of these for a little bit of heat and spice and flavor. Then we're gonna add our seasonings. I got about 1/3 to 1/2 cup of chili powder, a little bit more salt and pepper, and a little bit of onion powder and garlic powder. After giving this a good stir, I'm gonna put the lid on mine, put it into a 250 degrees preheated oven, and let this cook for about 3 hours. Okay, it's been a couple of hours. Our chili is nice and thick, looking and smelling amazing. Let's go get this plated up. Okay, now for toppings, I'm gonna keep mine simple. A little bit of shredded cheddar cheese, one of those pepperoncini peppers, and some freshly diced tomatoes. And there you have it, chicken chili, made easy, made delicious. Woo! Okay, we're gonna start by gathering all of our vegetables. We're gonna go with 1 white onion. No, that's a yellow onion, sorry. 1 green bell pepper, 1 jalapeno pepper, some celery and carrots, and later we're gonna crush in some fresh garlic. So the first thing we're gonna do is wash and trim all of our vegetables, peel our carrots, and get everything ready to chop. Okay, our onion, pretty standard procedure. We're gonna cut off the top, toss that somewhere, cut it in half, then we're gonna cut lengthwise down, turn it, cut it lengthwise the other way, and that should give us some pretty nice sized chunks. Okay, and we're just gonna add everything to a bowl, and that'll be that. Our pepper is gonna be a little different. We're gonna cut into it and roll our knife along the side of it until we get kind of this long, flat pepper shape. We're gonna take that, cut that into strips, and then we're gonna take those strips, turn them sideways, cut it again, and that should give us, again, you know, a nice size diced. And then we're gonna add that to our bowl. And our celery, you guessed it, we're gonna cut them lengthwise into some really thin strips. Turn that, cut it down the side, and again, that'll give us a nice sized dice. Then we're gonna add that, again, you guessed it, to our bowl. Okay, our jalapenos, I'm gonna cut off the top, cut off the bottom, and then I'm gonna cut it down the center, and I'm gonna try to remove as much of those seeds as possible, because that's where the heat is. And if you want things a little bit more spicier, of course, you know, you can leave some of those seeds or most of those seeds. Me, I'm gonna toss it. And if you've been paying attention, you probably know what's next. We're gonna cut these into a dice. So we're gonna cut them down the middle into strips, turn them, and cut them into a nice fine dice. Add them to our bowl, and we're almost done with our chopping. Okay, we're almost done with our vegetables. We're gonna get this carrot done and out of the way. We're gonna peel it, and then we're gonna bring it over to the sink, give it a nice wash under some cold water. Okay, and how many of you thought you knew what was coming? You thought we were gonna dice these. I mean, I guess you could if you want, but I'm gonna shred mine. So I'm gonna take a cheese grater with the largest grate on them, and I'm just gonna shred these until I get a nice fine shred, which I think is good. I think it's gonna add a little bit more texture to this, and I think it's gonna help them also cook quicker. All right, now let's talk beans. Eating beans, right? Do you love them? Do you hate them? Do you put them in your chili? Me personally, I love beans in my chili. So I'm gonna add 1 can of Roman beans and 1 can of dark kidney beans. And the reason for those two is pretty much that's all I had on hand. I mean, if I had preference of what I would put in, I'd probably just put in 2 cans of kidney beans. All right, now the moment we've all been waiting for, we're gonna start cooking. I got a heavy Dutch oven pot over medium heat, and I'm gonna throw in my ground beef. Now here, I just got some regular 80-20 ground beef. You can use whatever you want. I think 80-20 works best for everything, so that's what I got. Okay, pretty simple. Take a large, heavy wooden spoon or whatever you got. We're gonna start crumbling that meat as it browns up. I'm gonna generously season this with some salt and pepper. And I'm gonna add in some red pepper flakes, some crushed red pepper flakes. Yeah, I know I threw out all those jalapeno seeds and I'm adding crushed red pepper flakes. I don't know what to tell you, I'm weird. And we're gonna continue cooking, browning, and crumbling our meat until it is all brown, no pink. Okay, once our ground beef is all the way cooked through, smelling beautiful and looking amazing, we are going to drain it. Now, I know I said in other videos with ground beef that you don't have to drown the ground beef because fat is flavor, but I grow older and I grow wiser, and I'm just gonna drain some of this meat off because I can't stand looking at all that fat and grease. Okay, so once all of our ground beef is drained, we're gonna add in our vegetables, our onions, peppers, celery, carrots, and we're gonna sprinkle on a little bit more salt and pepper, and we're gonna cook this until tender. Okay, now once our vegetables are starting to get tender, we're gonna crush in a couple cloves of garlic. I'm probably gonna use 3 or 4 or maybe even 5, depending on how I feel, depending on how my mood is. If I want more garlic, I'm definitely gonna put more garlic. But I think the standard is probably like 3 or 4. Okay, and once all of our crushed garlic is in, we're gonna stir this and we're gonna cook this down for about a minute until that garlic is nice and fragrant. Then we're gonna add 6 ounces of tomato paste and we're gonna cook that down for about 2 to 3 minutes to get that raw edge off and to evolve those flavors even more. It's about building flavors on top of flavors. After a couple minutes, we're going to add 4 cups of beef broth. And no, you don't have to use the beef broth. If you have water, you can use water. If you have beer, you can use beer. If you have vegetable broth, you get the idea. We're going to give this a good stir and scrape up any loose bits on the bottom. That's flavor. All right, guys, now let's have a heart-to-heart. You can go out and buy all the ingredients and make chili seasoning. You probably even have all of them in your cupboard already. I mean, I've done it before. I have plenty of videos on this channel where I made chili seasonings. I'll even leave a recipe in the description for chili seasoning if you want to make your own. Me, to save time, I'm just going to use one of these packets, and this is my favorite brand if you want to use this one too. Okay, so after we stir in all of our seasonings, we're going to add 2 cans of beans, drained and rinsed. Then we're going to mix this again. After which our chili is going to simmer for an incredible 3 hours. But if you can do longer, do longer. If you can do 4, do 4. If you can do 5, do 5. Those flavors are really going to develop more. I mean, you know what they say, chili is even better the next day. I mean, sometimes I'll make chili just to eat it the next day because the next day those flavors are going to be incredible. So finally, after a couple of hours, I'm gonna serve up a big old bowl of this chili for myself, and of course I'm going to top it with some cheddar cheese. Now, I didn't have the sour cream and the scallions and everything else, the crackers I wanted to put on this. That's my fault. Don't you make the same mistakes I did. Go out and get the sour cream, the chives, the crackers, everything to fully load this chili up. That's it for me in this video. Thanks for watching. Stay safe, all that good stuff, and I'll see you in the next video. All right, I'm out. Today we are making turkey chili, so fresh and so light, perfect for them chilly autumn nights or those cold, dark winter nights. This is so fresh, it's even perfect on a warm summer night. This is somewhat healthy, but it's super flavorful too. We got the jalapeno slices, the sour cream, the bacon crumbles, the cilantro, a little hint of lime. And let me know in the comments if you ever make turkey chili. I rarely do, but after this, I figure that's about to change. So stick around, get comfortable, and let me show you how I made it. Let's go over some of our ingredients. We got a green bell pepper, a small yellow onion, a jalapeno, 1, 2 small red peppers, 2 small orange peppers, and 2 small yellow peppers. Look how beautiful that is. I mean, we really are just like peppers. We come in all different shapes, sizes, and colors. And all we're gonna do now is just get to prepping our vegetables. Nice little medium dice on everything. Add that to a bowl, and let me know what you guys think about prep work. Some people think it's like super soothing, just chopping up all those vegetables, you know, like relaxing. Other people think it's boring. Me, I don't know, I kind of fall in the middle. Some days it's soothing, some days it's boring, and I just want to get to cooking. Now when I cut up my jalapeno, I do want some of those jalapeno seeds for a little bit of extra heat, so I'm gonna keep some of those around when I chop it up, and the rest I'm gonna throw out. Our vegetables are all cut and prepped. Everything's looking beautiful. We're gonna set this to the side for now. We got a large, sturdy, heavy pot. Let's bring that over to the stove to preheat. Now while our pot is preheating, let's get to the real star of the show, the turkey. Now turkey is pretty dry. This is 99% fat free, so if you want, you can add a little bit of oil just to help brown that meat up. And we're just gonna start browning our meat. We're gonna hit that thing with a little bit of salt and pepper because turkey meat is pretty bland. Once all of our ground turkey is crumbled, cooked through, and no longer pink, we're gonna add in our vegetables, a little bit more salt and pepper, and we're gonna cook this down until those vegetables are nice and tender. Once our vegetables are nice and soft, we're gonna add 2 10-ounce cans of diced tomatoes. Give that a stir. Then we are going to add in our seasonings. Now I will leave the seasonings and the amounts in the description, or you could use those pre-seasoned chili packets. I use those all the time. No shame. Don't let anybody shame you into using those because I use those all the time. So we're going to stir all our seasonings in and sort of wake them up a little bit. Then we are going to add in 6 cups of chicken stock with 1 tablespoon of cornstarch mixed in. Then we're going to add in 2 bay leaves, 2 cloves of crushed garlic, and we're going to stir this and let this simmer for about 1 hour. After an hour, we're going to stir in 2 15-ounce cans of dark kidney beans, or any beans of your choice really. We're going to stir this in and let this simmer for another hour. After an hour, after another hour, after 2 hours, we're going to serve this up, a couple of big hearty spoonfuls. Then we're going to cover the top with some shredded cheese, a dollop of sour cream. Then we're going in with the jalapeno slices, and I had some extra bacon, so I crumbled that on top, a little bit of cilantro and a lime. Now when I was at the store getting everything for the chili, I saw these salsa verde tostitos, and I knew I had to try them, and let me tell you, these were good. If you see these, I definitely would recommend you pick them up. They went excellent with the chili, so I threw a couple of them on the side to scoop with my chili. And now the moment we've all been waiting for, especially me, because this chili was smelling so good in my house. I went in for a nice big scoop, and let me tell you, this chili was awesome. Okay, like I said in the beginning of the video, I don't make turkey chili that often. In fact, maybe never, but after this, I definitely feel like this has to be in some sort of rotation for the rest of the fall and the rest of the winter in my house, because this was really good. And in all my excitement, I accidentally forgot to squeeze the lime juice over the top, so I squeezed some lime, went in for another bite, and let me tell you, even more better. It was like everything was just humming and harmoning, and it was just awesome. All right, y'all, I'm gonna get out of here. That's it for this video. That's it for me. Like, comment, subscribe. Let me know if you like the video, and I hope you make this turkey chili because it is absolutely amazing and perfect for them autumn nights and them cold winter nights. Bye. Today, beef, bean, and beer chili is on the menu. The first thing we're gonna do is start browning our meat. So into a large saucepan over a medium heat, we're gonna add 1 pound of ground beef. And using our favorite wooden spoon, we'll start breaking up our meat. We're also gonna add in 1 whole white onion and 1 green bell pepper, both diced. And just like before, we'll continue breaking that meat up, browning it, and sauteing our onions and peppers as well. And now would also be a great time to add in some kosher salt and some black pepper. Once our meat is all the way browned and most of the fat and excess water has evaporated, I'm also going to add in 2 diced jalapenos, as well as 2 cloves of crushed garlic, and our spice mix, which I will leave all the amounts in the description below, but it includes chili powder, cumin, smoked paprika, regular paprika, onion powder, garlic powder, oregano, salt and pepper, cayenne pepper, and some Goya season. And we'll give all this a good mix and cook this for about 3 minutes to really wake up those spices. Next, we are going to add in our beer. I'm using 1 can of Budweiser, but you can use any beer you like. And if you don't have or don't want to use beer, you can use another one of my favorites, which is beef stock. So we'll add in our beer, we'll give this a good stir and cook it about 5 minutes before we add our tomato product. And I have 1 cup of tomato sauce I'm going to add in. So we'll mix this in along with 2 cups of cold water. And we'll bring this up to a boil over a medium-high heat. So once our chili is up to a boil, we're going to add our beans. I'm using 1 can of white kidney beans and 1 can of red kidney beans. But really, any beans will work. And if you don't like beans, you don't have to add them either. So we'll mix these in, turn our heat down to low, and simmer this for a minimum of 2 hours. And you'll want to keep an eye on it. If it needs more water, you can add more water, depending on how thick or thin you like your chili. 2 hours later, our chili is beautiful and thick and flavorful. The beer is giving it a nice tang. It's spicy. It's ready to serve. Our bowl is full and now we're ready to layer on all of our favorite toppings. I got some shredded cheddar cheese, sour cream, of course, diced green onions, a shake of smoked paprika, and that's it. Our beef, bean, and beer chili is done. But wait, there's still one thing missing. There, chili is not chili without crackers.